great day. Today I would like to take you through a grand tour of Seville, as I have visited recently, in March 2017. I was very fortunate to be having a great weather of 25 degrees Celsius. No wonder I was walking around in t-shirts. And to start with, what I'm showing you there is some images from a restaurant where I had my lunch. The name of the restaurant is Gusto and is right near the cathedral, on the western part of the cathedral. Afterwards, I'm going to take you through the Alfonso XIII gardens. First, having a cathedral view from the square. There are actually two views there. One is closer to the Alcazar, the royal palace in Seville, where you can see, also see the huge queues. So the Alfonso XIII gardens, Alfonso XIII being a great hotel where I stayed 10 years ago, apparently was also the place where Rita Hayworth used to stay in the 20s, as her grandmother was of Sevillian origin. Who would have thought? Rita Hayworth. Right, next I'm going to take you through Plaza de Espana, and let me tell you very briefly some information about all this. Well, Plaza de Espana was built in 1928 for the Ibero-American exhibition of 1929. Who would have thought, the building looks like several hundreds of years old. And it mixes elements of Renaissance and Moorish revival. It's a huge complex, half circle with buildings running around the edges. In the center it has a Vicente Trava fountain. Today it consists of government buildings used for different purposes then. It also has been a filming location in 1962 for Lawrence of Arabia, most recently for the Star Wars movie, and one of the Star Wars movie, and the Parque de Maria Luisa nearby is in Moorish style. It's a gorgeous park with lots of fountains, pavilions, ponds, benches, lots of intoxicating trees, orange trees, and so on. After that, I'm showing to you the Torre del Oro. Torre del Oro, which means Tower of Gold, is a dodecagonal military watchtower, meaning it has 12 facets, and it was erected by the Almohad Caliphate in order to control access to Seville via the Guadalquivir River. It was built in the 13th century, serving as a prison during the Middle Ages, and its name comes from the building materials, which are a mix of mortar, lime, and pressed hay. It was destroyed during revolutions, also by earthquakes, and nowadays functions as a museum, a gorgeous museum, I might want to add, because of all the navigational instruments, models, historical documents, engraving, nautical charts, all relating Seville to the Guadalquivir River and the sea. It has been a museum since 2008, and also you can see there a model of the ship that took Christopher Columbus across the sea, across the Atlantic. Well, it's an ocean, isn't it? Right. Next, after that, what I'm showing you there is the Alcazar, the royal palace in Seville, which again, it was developed by the Moorish Muslim kings. The place is a great example of Moorish architecture, and Castilians chose to superimpose upon what has been the most important of the Almohad palaces. Although they kept the geographical design you can find in the ceramic tiles that cover the floors and the walls. The upper levels of the Alcazar are still used by the royal family as their official Sevillian residence, and you can see the Almohad influences within its walls and the gardens, which they take probably 4 times the size of the Alcazar. It was also the birthplace of Infanta Maria Antoinetta of Spain. In 1962 was used as a set for the Lawrence of Arabia movie with Peter O'Toole. Most recently, some shots from the Game of Thrones movie were set here. Well, I'm not a fan, so I haven't seen anything. Right. Next, what I'm going to show to you is the Sevillian Cathedral, which is a Roman Catholic cathedral and is the largest Gothic cathedral and the 3rd largest church in the world. It was completed in the 16th century, taking the title from Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, or Constantinople as it was before called, as the largest cathedral in the world. It's also the burial site of Christopher Columbus. So as you access the cathedral on the right hand side, you'll see like the Titans holding his grave. Actually, the grave is underneath them, but it looks amazing and a great contrast with the people nearby. Construction began in 1402 and continued until 1506, but the dome collapsed several times throughout the centuries. It is a huge cathedral. I loved it, and you can cool inside there, whether it's hot March or super hot August, as I experienced 10 years ago, 14 degrees Celsius. We had to run from one shade to another. It has 80 chapels, and what the members of the cathedral chapter said, apparently, hagamos una iglesia tan hermosa y tan grandiosa que los que la vieren labrada non tengan por locos, which translates into, let us build a church so beautiful and so grand, and those who see it finished will think we are mad. The bell tower of the cathedral is called Giralda Tower and is 105 meters tall, and it is the former minaret of the mosque that stood on the site under the Muslim rule, and it was built to resemble the minaret of the Qutubiyya Mosque in Marrakesh, those who visited that location. It is simply gorgeous, and the views over Seville are amazing. You can see the wooden structure on the west, or the Metropole Parasol as it is called. You can see the bull ring near the river. You can see all the way in the east. It is simply amazing. What I want to do now is to leave you with some sounds I have recorded in Seville. First in Calle Sierpes, which is the main shopping area with its myriad of streets. Then in Plaza de Espana, an amazing instrument which I have never heard before. You have to listen it to believe it. And then in Plaza Nueva, where my hotel was located, and I listened briefly, well, I watched briefly this dancer, this flamenco dancer. So do enjoy, and thumb up this clip if you enjoyed and learned something here.